The crystal halls of Zenith Prime sparkled under 3 different suns, a symbol of 1,000 years of peace. Inside, the sovereign of the celestial compact delivered his final judgment. The humans of Earth have become too dangerous. The verdict was swift. The sentence, absolute. Banishment. But what if the species you exiled was just getting started? What if the message they received wasn't a sentence, but a starting gun? The Emperor voted for banishment from Earth. Humanity didn't wait to be notified twice. Before the story begins, join the fleet by subscribing to the channel and deploy a like to support this broadcast. Alright, let's begin the story. The crystal halls of Zenith Prime sparkled under 3 different suns. Sovereign Valthrax stretched his 6 arms wide as he entered the massive chamber. His purple skin gleamed in the light, and his 4 eyes scanned the gathering before him. Today, the galaxy would finally have peace. 47 different alien species filled the council chamber. The Krillian ambassador clicked his mandibles nervously. The ethereal Lumina representative glowed a soft, anxious blue in her containment field. All of them had come for one reason: to deal with the human problem. Sovereign Valthrax climbed onto his golden platform, his voice booming across the chamber. My fellow beings, we gather today to vote on a matter of galactic security. The humans of Earth have become too dangerous to ignore. A low murmur spread through the crowd. For 50 years, we have watched them spread across space like a disease, the sovereign continued. They build weapons instead of art. They fight instead of negotiate. They are aggressive, violent, and unpredictable. The vegan representative stood on his 4 legs. Your sovereign speaks truth. Humans destroyed 3 of our mining stations last year. They claimed we were in their territory. Territory they had no right to claim, added the Zahirian trade minister. We had been mining there for centuries. Valthrax's 4 eyes glowed with satisfaction. This was going exactly as planned. They refuse to follow compact law. They ignore our trade agreements. They are a threat to the peace we have worked so hard to create. I propose we solve this problem once and for all, the sovereign announced. We vote to banish humanity from Earth. They will be relocated to Viridia 7 in the Outer Rim. There, they can fight among themselves without threatening civilized species. Only 3 species voted against the banishment: the peaceful Aquarians, the ethereal Lumina, and surprisingly, the warrior race of the Vkorg. The Vkorg general stood tall, his scarred face a roadmap of old battles. Humans are fierce fighters, yes, but they are honorable enemies. This vote is born of fear, not wisdom. Valthrax dismissed his words with a wave of a clawed hand. The vote is decided. 44 for banishment, 3 against. The motion passes. He signed the decree with ceremonial ink, the document broadcast to every corner of the galaxy. Let it be known, the sovereign declared, that humanity has 1 solar cycle to leave Earth. Any human found in compact space after that time will be considered a criminal. This meeting is concluded. The delegates filed out, pleased. Trade would improve. Resources would be shared. The aggressive humans would no longer threaten their careful balance. But the sovereign did not know about the microscopic listening device hidden in the chamber's crystal walls. He did not know that human intelligence had been monitoring galactic communications for months. He did not know that High Marshal Eris Thorn was sitting in his command chair aboard the UNS Vanguard, watching the vote happen in real time. Thorn was a hard man with graying temples and eyes that had seen the cold vacuum of 3 different wars. "Marshal," said Lieutenant Eva Rostova, his communications officer. "Should we inform Earth Command?" Thorn stared at the screen. The sovereign was still speaking, explaining how peaceful the galaxy would be without them. He made his decision in a fraction of a second. "No," he said quietly. "Not yet. How long until they send their official message to Earth?" "Based on their diplomatic procedures, 6 to 8 hours, sir." "Good." Thorn stood, his presence filling the bridge. "That gives us time." He turned to his crew. 30 officers, the best humanity had to offer. Smart, brave, loyal. "Rostov, hey, send a coded message to Admiral Park at Luna Base. Tell him to activate Protocol Exodus. Immediately. Send word to General Kenji at Mars Command. Full evacuation protocol. Starting now." "Sir." Rostova looked confused. "What's Protocol Exodus?" Thorn's smile was thin and sharp, like a razor's edge. "Something we hoped we'd never need, Lieutenant. Something we've been preparing for since the first day we met these civilized species. He faced his entire bridge crew. Ladies and gentlemen, the aliens have just voted to kick us out of our own home. They think we're too dangerous. They think we're violent and unpredictable. The bridge was silent. Well, Thorne continued. They're about to find out just how right they are. If they want us gone, we'll leave. But we're not going to that prison they picked for us. We're going to show them what humans can really do when we're properly motivated. He sat back in his command chair. Rostova, after you've sent those messages, prepare a transmission to Earth. All channels. Maximum priority. Your orders, Marshal? Tell them the Sovereign has made his choice, and now it's time for us to make ours. High Marshal Eris Thorne stood in the command center deep beneath the Rocky Mountains. Project Citadel. Hundreds of screens showed real-time data from across the solar system. Ships were moving. People were packing. The greatest evacuation in human history had begun, and it was happening faster than anyone thought possible. Marshal, confirmation from Sector 7, reported Captain Martinez. The colony ship Henderson is loaded. 200,000 civilians aboard. The Singapore? Thorne asked without turning. Departing Luna Base in 3 hours. Another 150,000. Thorne nodded, his eyes fixed on the massive 3D map of human space. Green dots for evacuation ships. Blue for military. Red for supply depots. Thousands of dots. More appearing every minute. Dr. Anya Sharma, head of the evacuation committee, approached him. Marshal, I have the latest numbers. We're moving faster than our most optimistic projections. How fast? 8 million people evacuated in the first week. We should have everyone off Earth in 7 months at this rate. Thorne shook his head. Not fast enough. The compact gave us 12 months. I don't trust them to wait. We need everyone gone in 8 months. Maximum. Sharma frowned. That's impossible, Marshal. The logistics are being handled. Thorne pointed to the display. Look at Section 12. What do you see? Sharma squinted. Those are mining ships from the asteroid belt. Converted mining ships, Thorne corrected. Each one can carry 50,000 people in emergency conditions. They're not comfortable, but they're space-worthy. We've been modifying them for months. Months. Sharma looked shocked. You knew this was coming? Thorne's expression was grim. We hoped it wouldn't, but we planned for it anyway. That's what humans do. We prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Across the solar system, the evacuation was a masterpiece of logistics. Massive passenger ships the aliens thought were still under construction revealed themselves to be fully operational, built in secret asteroid mines and on the far side of the moon. Cargo haulers that normally carried supplies were converted to carry people. On Earth, entire cities were being dismantled, not destroyed, carefully taken apart, piece by piece. Factories were broken down and loaded onto cargo ships. Libraries were digitized, their physical books packed away. Museums were emptied of their treasures. Even trees and animals were loaded into biopreservation units. The aliens watching from their monitoring stations could not believe what they were seeing. They expected panic, chaos, pleading. Instead, they witnessed the most organized operation in galactic history. Prefect Scar of the Zeperian monitoring fleet sent daily reports to Sovereign Valthrax. Each was more disturbing than the last. Your Sovereign, he transmitted. The humans are not acting as we predicted. They are not begging. They are not fighting among themselves. They are efficient. Valthrax read the reports with growing unease. What do you mean, efficient? They have emptied 17 major cities without a single riot. They have moved 8 billion tons of equipment off-world in 2 months. Their ships are launching every 6 minutes, around T. He clocked. It's like they were ready for this. The Sovereign's 4 eyes narrowed. Impossible. We only voted 2 months ago. But Scar's next report was even more troubling. Your Sovereign. We have tracked their ships leaving the solar system. They are not heading toward Viridius 7 as ordered. Where are they going? The Sovereign demanded. Everywhere, your Sovereign. Our scouts report human vessels on 17 different vectors. Some are heading toward the galactic core. Others toward the rim. A few have left our galaxy entirely. Valthrax felt a cold chill. This was not supposed to happen. They were supposed to be contained. Meanwhile, Thorne received similar reports from his own scouts. Human fleets were scattering across the galaxy like seeds in the wind. Each ship carried not just people, but knowledge. Libraries, Genetic samples, industrial fabricators. Marshal, Lieutenant Rostova approached his desk. Message from the Bangkok evacuation fleet. They found something. What kind of something? A star system. 3 habitable worlds. Completely uninhabited. Perfect for colonization. They're requesting permission to establish a permanent settlement. Thorne smiled for the first time in weeks. Granted. Tell them to start building. And to look for mineral deposits while they're at it. This was happening across human space. Evacuation fleets weren't just running. They were exploring, claiming territory, establishing new homes. The aliens had given them a gift, though they didn't realize it. By forcing them to leave Earth, they had removed all the restrictions that had kept humanity contained. Dr. Sarah Kim, leading the Australia evacuation fleet, sent a message back. Marshal Thorne, we've made contact with 3 species not part of the compact. They're friendly. One wants to trade technology for our medical knowledge. Captain James O'Malley, commanding the Ireland fleet, reported finding vast asteroid fields rich in rare metals. Marshal, there's enough platinum here to build 1,000 cities. And nobody's claimed it. Commander Liu, heading the China convoy, discovered something even better. Marshal, we found ruins. An ancient alien civilization. Their tech is centuries ahead of the compact. And their cities are empty. They left everything. Humanity was not just surviving. It was thriving. By the time the last human ship left Earth, the planet looked like an empty shell. The cities were gone. The factories were gone. They even took soil from famous locations, water from important rivers, rocks from sacred mountains. Sovereign Valthrax received the final report. Prefect Scar, confirm all humans have left Earth. Confirmed, you're sovereign. The last ships departed 3 days ago. Earth is empty. Excellent. And they went to Viridius 7 as ordered. There was a long pause. No, you're sovereign. Our scouts report no human ships have arrived. We've lost track of most of their fleets. They seem to have scattered. Scattered. You're sovereign. The humans have vanished into deep space. We don't know where they went. For the first time, Valthrax wondered if he had made a mistake. But it was too late now. The humans were gone. The galaxy would finally have peace. 5 years passed. The galaxy was peaceful. Trade routes ran smoothly. The Sovereign's approval ratings had never been higher. But then came unusual reports from the Outer Rim. Mining operations going offline. Survey teams reporting empty asteroid fields. Frontier scouts simply disappearing. Pirates, the Sovereign dismissed. Unstable stars. Nothing we haven't dealt with before. He did not know that at that very moment, High Marshal Eris Thorne was standing on the observation deck of the TCS Prometheus, looking out at 4 suns. He saw massive orbital shipyards building vessels that dwarfed anything the compact had ever imagined. Marshal, Captain Rostova approached him, now a fleet commander in her own right. Latest production reports from the new Terrace shipyards. Thorne took the tablet. His eyes widened slightly. 600 ships completed this month? That's double our projections. Yes, sir. The automated factories are exceeding expectations. Our hull plating is now stronger than anything the compact uses. Our engines are 30% faster. And our weapons? Thorne asked with a slight smile. Rostova grinned. Purely defensive, sir. Of course. Free from the compact's regulations, Puma. And ingenuity had exploded. Dr. Sharma, now head of the Terran Science Consortium, had research stations in 17 star systems. Marshal Thorne, Dr. Sharma's voice came over the quantum communication system. Latest reports from the research divisions. Go ahead, Doctor. The quantum engineering team has achieved stable, faster-than-light communication. We can talk to any human settlement instantly. The Biological Adaptation Group has developed mods that allow humans to live on any type of world. And the AI division has created manufacturing systems that can build anything. Humanity was no longer a species. It was a decentralized, hyper-advanced civilization. Then came the most important discovery. Fringe species, ignored by the compact, began making contact. The first was the Andromedan Trade Federation. Emissary Kalen Vance, humanity's first diplomat to non-compact species, established contact. Marshal Thorne, she reported via quantum comms. You're not going to believe this. The compact isn't the only power out here. There are dozens of others, many more advanced. Go on. The Andromedans have been around for 50,000 years. They've seen empires rise and fall. According to them, The current celestial compact controls less than 30% of inhabited space. The news was shocking. The compact had presented itself as the supreme authority. It was a lie. There's more, Marshall. The Andromedans want to trade. They're offering to share technology. Gravitational manipulation, dimensional folding, temporal mechanics. Things that would make our current ships look like wooden sailing boats. Humanity had not just survived. It was about to become more powerful than it had ever imagined. Sovereign Valthrax stared at the economic reports. Trade revenues down 18%. Manufacturing profits collapsed. Corporations struggling to compete with new products flooding the market. Minister Felmoth, explain these numbers, he commanded. Your sovereign, we're dealing with a new manufacturing consortium. They call themselves the Argosy Combine. What kind of goods? Everything, your sovereign. Consumer electronics that outperform our best models. Weapons that exceed military-grade specs, sold as civilian hunting equipment. Ships faster and more efficient than anything our shipyards produce. And the prices? The sovereign asked, a cold feeling spreading through him. That's the problem. They're selling at cost levels that shouldn't be possible. Across the galaxy, compact businesses were failing. The Argosy Combine was not just selling products. They were offering services. Engineers who could repair any machine. Doctors who could cure incurable diseases. No one suspected the truth. High Marshal Thorne stood in the command center of the TCS Prometheus, watching real-time economic data flow across the screens. Human products were dominating markets. Human influence was spreading. Marshal, Emissary Vance approached him. The latest diplomatic reports. 14 different species have requested trade partnerships in the past month. Any compact species? 3 of them. The Aquarians, the Lumina, and the Vkorg. Vance smiled. The Vkorg want to buy weapons. Thorne laughed. Of course they do. Good answer. What about the compact's response? They're asking questions. The Sovereign has ordered investigations into our manufacturing methods. Let them try, Thorne said. We're operating from 47 different star systems now. They'll never find them all. This was the beauty of their new strategy. Decentralized. Redundant. Resilient. Marshall, Dr. Sharma joined them. We're ready for the next phase. Already. Our automated manufacturing systems are more efficient than we expected. We've produced enough surplus goods to flood their markets for the next 3 years. Our economic influence is becoming irreversible. Thorne nodded. It was time. It's time to make contact. The diplomatic vessel TCS Harmony was chosen. Sleek, advanced, but not threatening. Emissary Kalen Vance stood on the bridge as they approached Zenith Prime. Unknown vessel. This is Zenith Prime Control. Identify yourself. This is Emissary Kalen Vance of the Argosy Combine, aboard the diplomatic vessel Harmony. I am here on official business with the Celestial Compact. There was a long pause. The Argosy Combine was known as a trading organization. They had never sent diplomats. Stand by, Emissary. You are cleared for approach to Diplomatic Dock 7. Sovereign Valthrax was waiting in Conference Room Alpha. His 4 eyes studied Vance as she entered. She was clearly an alien species he had never seen before. Bipedal, average height, with smooth skin. She looked almost familiar. Emissary Vance, the Sovereign said formally. Welcome. We are curious about your organization. Your Sovereign, Vance smiled. We are a new organization focused on commerce. We prefer to let our actions speak for themselves. Your actions have certainly been impressive, the Sovereign replied. Our economists are fascinated by your manufacturing capabilities. We would be happy to discuss mutually beneficial arrangements. In fact, that is why I am here. The Argosy Combine would like to propose formal diplomatic relations with the Celestial Compact. For 3 days after Vance left, Valthrax paced his chambers, trying to solve a puzzle that made his head hurt. Computer, he said to his personal AI. Display all available data on the Argosy Combine. Holographic displays filled the room. Computer, analyze linguistic patterns in Emissary Vance's speech. Analysis complete, your Sovereign. Subject demonstrates familiarity with compact protocols suggesting extensive study. Estimated minimum study period, 50 to 70 standard years. Impossible, the Sovereign whispered. The Argosy Combine has only existed for 5 years. Slowly, carefully, he began to ask the question he had been avoiding. Computer, access restricted files. Display all data on the human banishment. New holographs appeared. Reports from monitoring stations. Military assessments. Computer. Compare human ship designs from 5 years ago with current Argosy combined vessels. Processing, no direct matches. However, certain design philosophies show similarities. Both cultures prefer modular construction, redundant systems, and efficiency over aesthetics. The sovereign's hearts began beating faster. Computer. Overlay current Argosy combine activity areas on the human exodus chart. Green areas appeared on the star chart. The sovereign's 4 eyes widened. The green areas perfectly matched the regions where human ships had been heading 5 years ago. Computer, what is the probability that the Argosy combine is actually human? Calculating. Based on available evidence, probability is 87%. The sovereign collapsed into his chair. The aliens he had banished had become the most powerful trading organization in known space. They had not just survived. They had thrived beyond imagination. An urgent message chimed. Your sovereign. Massive economic disruption in the core worlds. The Argosy Combine is not just selling products anymore. They're buying companies. Shipping firms, mining operations, they could own 30% of galactic commerce within 2 years. The economic invasion was so skillful it looked like normal business. The second diplomatic meeting was tense. The sovereign had brought the heads of the Security Council and the Economic Regulation Committee. Emissary Vance entered with the same confident smile. Emissary, the sovereign began. Our intelligence services estimate you would need at least 10 billion workers to maintain current production levels. Your intelligence services are very thorough, Vance replied, still smiling. The sovereign leaned forward. I am going to ask you a direct question. Are you human? The conference room became completely silent. Vance sat quietly, then reached up and activated a small device on her collar. The alien features faded away, revealing a human woman with brown hair and green eyes. The sophisticated holographic disguise disappeared. Yes, your sovereign, Kaelin Vance said in her natural voice. I am human. The sovereign felt the blood drain from his purple skin. Impossible. We banished your species 5 years ago. You banished us from Earth, Vance corrected. You told us to leave our home. You did not tell us we couldn't make new homes elsewhere. You were ordered to relocate to Viridius 7. That was your suggestion, not our decision. We chose to make our own arrangements. The sovereign's 4 eyes were wide with shock and growing fear. How many of you are there? 12 billion humans, Vance replied calmly. Across 49 star systems. We've been quite busy during our exile, your sovereign. The head of the Security Council, a large insectoid, clicked angrily. This is a violation. You were supposed to be contained. Vance turned to him, her expression now cold as the void. We were exiled without trial, without representation. You wanted us gone. We accommodated your request. But not as we intended, the sovereign protested. Your sovereign, Vance said firmly. You voted to remove us from the galactic community. You did not vote to destroy us. We have survived. We have prospered. And we have built something remarkable. Now, we're offering to rejoin that community. As equals. Equals, the Economic Committee head, a floating gas being, pulsed with agitation. You're threatening our entire economic system. We are not threatening it, Vance said. We are improving it. The age of the compact's dominance is over. A new age of partnership is beginning. You can either accept it or be left behind by it. The choice is yours.